Hello lovely ladies, and welcome back to another Pilates sculpt class. This class is perfect if you're sort of intermediate beginner level and you're looking to get started with Pilates. We're going to work the full body today. This class is perfect for your luteal phase, probably towards the end of the luteal phase. If you're a little bit more advanced, if you're a beginner, then it's perfect for any time of the cycle. It's a little bit of a windy day, so I hope that you can hear me okay. Let's get into it. So I want you to come and start at the back of your mat, and we're just going to take a few deep breaths. So as you take a deep breath in, I want you to bend into your knees and then open up your chest towards the sky and bring your arms all the way up overhead, really extending out through the spine, taking a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, I want you to tuck chin to chest, and you're going to roll your spine slowly down, softening into the knees and letting your head, shoulders and chest come really heavy over your legs. Just take a breath in and out. And then as you breathe out, I want you to roll up, softening into the knees even more and stacking your vertebrae on top of each other one at a time and really curling up through your spine until you come back up to stand, and then just taking a roll out through the shoulders. Let's go again. Breathing in, extending all the way up into the sky, and breathing out. Just tucking your chin to chest, curving your spine all the way down, and rolling down slowly, letting your head, chest, and shoulders come really heavy over the legs. And just keeping a nice soft bend into those legs. Try and think about your feet, planting your feet into the ground, making sure that you're starting to feel present here on your mat. And then take a deep breath in and out. Let's just roll back up slowly, really curving the spine and stacking one vertebrae on top of each other at a time until you come up to stand. Good. Taking a deep breath in, last one. Breathing all the way up and curling down. Just really warming up through the spine and rolling your body down, all the way down to hang over the legs. Good. Let's just take a few more breaths here. And as you take the last breath, take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, I want you to walk your hands all the way out across your mat and then push your hips up into a downward dog position. Good. And if you feel that you need to, let's just pedal out through the heels a little bit to find that flexibility through the legs. I want you to keep breathing and pushing your chest towards your thighs as much as you can and really hiking those hips up towards the sky. So let's just take a few more pedals here. Good. And then when you're ready, pushing both heels down, I want you to drop your knees just to hover off the mat for a second, and then pushing back to find that downward dog. Good. Let's work through a few more of these. Drop the knees just to hover, bend through the knees and hover them off the floor, and then pushing back. So we're still just warming up. Good. Dropping the knees to hover and then pushing back. Good. Let's go one more. Pushing all the way back up. And now let's drop the knees all the way and just find a few cat-cows. So dropping the belly towards the floor, head goes up towards the sky, extending out through the spine, and then flexing through the spine. Pushing your chest away from the floor, opening up through the shoulder blades, and then inhale, dropping the belly, and exhale. Extend. Good. Extension and flexion of the spine. Good, just keep breathing and really try and find that presence on your mat. And then as you feel comfortable, you can kind of just take any movements that you need to that feel good. I like to move side to side, maybe a little bit back into my hips, just really flowing with my body and finding that nice, comfortable flexibility. Good, and then when you're ready, let's find a neutral spine. And I want you to make your way onto your back. Okay, so let's lie down all the way on our back. Good, and just find a nice comfortable position on your mat. First, we're just going to work through some glute bridges. Okay, so get your feet in a sort of neutral stance, hip width apart. And I want you to focus on planting all of your toes into the floor and your heels into the floor. And as you do this movement, you want to concentrate on keeping the weight through the back of your feet and not through the front. Okay, so placing your hands down by your side, I want you to take a nice little tuck of your tailbone so that you feel like your spine has been tattooed into the floor. So you're having a nice flat spine all the way on the ground and no gap underneath your back. And then when you're ready, we're just going to lift the hips up off the floor and then tapping them down with control. Almost peeling your back up off the floor and finding that nice straight body and working into the core. Good. Tapping down with the hips, really keeping that nice neutral spine. Try not to let your hips fall down. Really control it and use your abs at the same time. Good. Pushing up and tapping down. Good. We're just working into the back of the body as a nice little warm-up to get ready for the rest of this class. Good. Squeezing up and tapping down. Squeezing up and tapping down. We're just going to work here for another 6. Good. 5. Really concentrate on what your body's doing. 4. If you need to close your eyes, feel free. 3. Final 2. And final 1. Good. Holding your hips up. Now this time as you drop your hips, I want you to sweep your arms up so that they come above your chest. And then as you lift the hips, sweep them down by your side again. Good. So letting them sweep up, tap the hips, and pushing up, sweeping down. Good. 3. 4. Keep working here. 5. Let's get to 12 reps. 6. Really feeling that energy through the fingertips. And concentrating on the back of the body and the arms at the same time. 8. Let's go here for 4 more reps. Really squeeze through the abs as well. 4. 3. You get what you put into every class with Pilates, so give it your best. 2 and 1. Good. Now keeping your arms down by your side, I want you to find your weight in one foot and then lift up through the other foot into a tabletop position. I want you to keep your hips up and find the weight in your right foot, keeping your right foot planted on the floor. You're going to lift your left leg up to tabletop and then drop it down, and then lift your right leg up to tabletop, drop it down, and then drop the hips. Pushing back up, left leg up to tabletop, drop it down with control, right leg up to tabletop, down with control, and drop the hips. Good. Pushing up, left leg up and down, right leg up and down. Control the abs, keep a neutral spine. All of these things that we need to focus on with Pilates that help us get so much stronger as we move. Good. Nice little tap and push. 1, 2, and dropping the hips. Good, let's work here for another 3 more reps. Left leg, right leg, and drop the hips, and pushing up. Left leg, right leg, and drop the hips, pushing up. Final one. Left leg, right leg, hold the abs, and just keep working through this. Left leg, right leg, keep working. Here we go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keeping the hips up, I want you to tap your knees into touch and then open them up wide. Good, now tapping the knees into touch, opening them up wide. Good, let's keep working here. Tap the knees into touch. We're nearly done on this glute bridge series. Use your breath. The breath is so powerful. Coming wide, tapping to touch, coming wide. Let's work here for another 4. We're going to pulse it out in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now keeping the knees wide, let's just pulse the hips up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You can do it. 1. Bring the knees into neutral and just pulse the hips for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and drop the hips. Woo. That was a burner. Just hug your knees into your chest, and you can just take a few rocks side to side if that feels good. I know it does for me. Now I want you to just plant your feet onto the floor. We're just going to windshield wiper the knees a little bit. So just dropping the knees over to one side, but don't let them touch the floor, and then swing them over back to the middle. Dropping them down to one side with control, just hovering off the floor, and then bring it back to the middle. And keep working through this. Nice bit of stretch and slight bit of abs activation at the same time. Good. Keep working here for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, nice little rest, and 1. Good. Okay. Now when you're ready, I just want you to grab behind your thighs and take as many rocks and rolls as you need to get up and into a nice cross-legged position. And now we're going to find our way onto our all fours. We're just going to work through a little kneeling series. So we're going to start on the right leg. I want you to extend your right leg out long behind you and keep your elbows nice and soft, and keeping your core nice and strong and your hips nice and straight and neutral to the floor. Try not to open up to the side through your hip as we do this, okay? Now I want you to think about lengthening that leg behind you as long as it can go. So as you lift your leg, think about lengthening it and squeezing up through the glutes, and then dropping it down with control, and then thinking as long as that leg can go and squeezing up into the glutes. Good. And then tapping it down, squeezing up nice and long, and tapping it down. So it's not really about the height, and you don't want to be dipping into your lower back. You want to think long length through that leg, and keeping everything nice and slow and controlled. This is a slow burn, and you're going to feel the shakes in all the right places. Feel completely worked, strong and powerful after this class. Good, let's work here for another 8, 7, squeeze, take your time, 6, good, the slower you go the better, 5, 4, great, 3, 2, and final 1, all the way up. Now I want you to rainbow that leg over to the left side so that you cross over your body and just tap down on the floor. And then as you bring it over to the right side, I want you to make a big rainbow and sweep over and tap down to the right side, keeping nice and controlled through the hips, really thinking about that length and holding your core and your spine, tapping over to the left, rainbowing up over to the right. Good. Keep working through these rainbows for another 8. 7. Good. 6. You've got this, girls. 5. 4. 3. Ooh, I always get a cramp in my toe. I don't know why. 2. 1. Good. And now coming up back to the middle, I want you to drop your chest, tucking your elbows into a press up, and then coming back up to straight, and then just tapping the leg back down. So extending up through the leg, dropping through the chest, pushing up to straight, and then tapping the leg back down. The glute is on fire, but you can do this. Let's go. That's 3. That's 4. We're gonna get to 8 reps here. 5. You've got this. 6. 2 more reps. You can do it. 7. Final 1. All the way up. Drop the chest. Now coming up, just hold that leg there. I want you to drop your chest halfway and just pulse it out for 8. 7. Squeeze the glutes. 6. Squeeze the triceps. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Coming up to straight. Let's just take the pulses of the leg for 8. 7. Squeeze the glutes. We're nearly done. 6. 5. Push. 4. 3. 2. 1. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. Pilates. Never underestimate it. It is so much harder than it looks. Whew. Glutes on fire. You can just take a few rocks side to side. Anything that feels good. Just take a few breaths and find yourself back on the mat here. Let's let the knees go wide and push your hips all the way back and find your child's pose. Forehead comes to floor. You can walk your hands out in front of you and just take a few breaths here. Breathing in and out. And in and out. Last one. In and out. Good. Okay. Now we're going to come into a little bit of an arm series. So I want you to stay on your knees. If it's too difficult on your knees, then feel free to stand. But I'm going to work on my knees. I want you to take a little hinge forward. So it's almost like you're coming into a sort of RDL position, but you want to hold your core nice and strong and push your hips back. And then you're going to extend your arms out in front of you, out to the side, but slightly in front, keeping your shoulders down and away from your ears, okay? Now I want you to just draw little circles with your arms in one direction. Just breathing. We need to do a lot of breathing because this is going to be a bit of a challenge, but you can do it. Good. Let's work in one direction for another 6. 5, up and around. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Reverse the circles. Let's work here for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to hold it there. I want you to just flip your palms up and then flipping them back down towards the floor. Flipping them up and down. Good. Flipping up and down, holding the core. Good. Flip the palms. Keeping it nice and controlled. It's just a very small movement. You're going to feel the shoulders starting to heat up, but that's what we want. That's what we're here for. To get stronger. in the mind and in the body. Good, let's work here for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, now I want you to just pulse with the palms down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse with the palms up for 8, 7, 6, 5. Strong core. 4, 3, 2, 1. Flip the palms back down. I want to bend your elbows to touch your hands around your chest, keeping your elbows up and then extending back out to that extended position. So bending in and extending out. Shoulders on fire. Bending in and extending out. Good. Another 8, 7. Keep it going. 6, 5. Use your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the arms out. Now I want you to extend your arms up overhead and let your body come to straight. Have a little breath and then hinging back down, extending the arms back to that position. Good. And up overhead and down. Good. And up and down. Keep working here for another 6. In 5. Using the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now coming back to that extended position. One more round of those pulses for 8, 7. You're going to drop your arms in 6, 5, 4, 3. Pushing to the end. 2, 1. Bend the elbows in. And now extend back behind you. Tricep extension. So keeping your elbows in. I want you to bend your arms up so your hands are towards your chest, and then extend your arms back into that tricep squeeze. Good. Just coming in, extending back, keeping that nice hinge and strong core. Extending back behind you. And in. Extend. In. Breathe. Good. Let's go 4 more like this. 4, 3, pulsing it out in 2, 1. Hold that extension, just pulsing your arms up and up really high. Really squeeze that tricep here for another 8, 7, 6. Strong core. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Woo. You can just sit back on your feet and just clasp your hands behind your back and then open your chest up towards the sky and let your head go back and feel that nice stretch through the shoulders and just breathe. And then I want you to clasp your hands in front of you and push your arms out and away from you and let your head just drop down and your shoulders open up from behind you. Great. Okay, and when you're ready, we're just going to find our way onto our backs. We're going to work a little bit of abs now. So coming onto your bum, I want you to just put your arms out in front of you and slowly roll your body down all the way to the mat. Again, thinking about that tattoo of the spine into the floor. And when you're ready, let's bring your legs up to tabletop. So right leg goes up and then left leg goes up. Keeping your hands by your side for now to support you. We're going to just work through some toe taps, okay? So keeping that spine really tattooed into the floor. I want you to tap your right toes down and then bring the right toes back to tabletop. And then tap your left toes down and then bring the leg back up to tabletop. Good. The further that you tap away, the harder it will be, but you still want to maintain that control and that lower back pressed into the floor. Working really slowly here. This whole class is very slow and controlled. That's how you're going to get the most out of this movement. Good, let's work here for another 7, 6. Good. In 5, 4, Great. 3. Keep breathing. 2. 1. Now I want you to bring your legs back to tabletop. I want you to extend your right leg up towards the sky and keeping your left leg at tabletop and bent. Now I want you to lower your right leg towards the floor so that it just hovers off of the floor, and then bring it back up towards the sky. We're going to just keep working the right leg, so bringing it down to hover and then up back to the sky. Good. Lowering with control, hovering it off the floor and then bringing it back up, keeping that energy through the toes, energy through the body. This is going to get a bit burny, but you can do it. Here we go. Let's work here for another 5. 4. Good. Final 3. Final 2. Now final 1. I want you to hold it down there. I want you to bring your hands behind your head and just tuck your chin up into a crunch position. Now what you're going to do, now bringing it back up towards the sky. Now what I want you to do is bring it back to a tabletop position. We're still going to keep working the right side for now. Just tuck your hands behind your head and tucking chin to chest. And as you tuck your chin to chest, you're going to extend that leg back long. And then you're going to bring it back into tabletop and release the chest. Good. So extending the right leg back long while you bring your chest up. And then bringing it back down with control. Good. So extending it out long and tucking the crunch. And then bringing the shape back in. Good. Crunching up, extend. And then bringing it back down. Ooh, abs on fire. Here we go. Let's go for another 4. 3. Final 2. Now final 1. Holding it up. I want you to just reach your hands over to the right side and just take little pulses up towards that right leg. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, bringing it back to the center. Let's just take a little bit of a release. You can hold your legs in for a moment. Just take a breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to work onto the left side. Okay, so we're going to start in that tabletop position. Hands are down by your side for now. We're going to just extend the left leg up towards the sky. And then we're going to extend it all the way down, lower it down so that it hovers off the floor. And then bringing it back in, all the way up towards the sky. Good. Energy through the toes, hovering it off the floor. And then bringing it back up. Good. Keeping that spine neutral. Really concentrate on keeping your lower spine attached to the floor. Good. Let's work here for another 7. Up. Breathing. 6. 5. Try not to let that knee creep in towards your chest like mine is. 4. 3. 2. Final 1. All the way down. And then coming up. Now this time you're going to tuck your hands behind your head and bringing it back to tabletop. Now I want you to tuck your hands behind your head and lift your head, neck, and shoulders off of the floor and extend that left leg back out long. As you bring the left leg back in, you drop your head back down towards the floor. So as you take that crunch, you're going to extend the left leg. And then as you bring it back in, you drop down and release. Ooh, abs on fire. We're nearly there. Let's go here for another 6. 5. 4. 3. Final 2. Whew. Final 1, all the way up. Now I want you to extend your arms over to the left side and just take little pulses of the chest for 8, 7, 6, nearly there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and release. Whew, that was an absolute burner of the abs. Extend your legs out long and take your arms up overhead and just extend the body and really just try and breathe here for a moment. Breathing in and out. One more breath. Okay, when you're ready, I want you to grab behind your legs and take as many rocks and rolls as you need to get up. We are going to come back into our all fours position. We're going to just work the other side, and then I'm going to give you a stretch and you'll be all done. So well done for making it through. We've got a little bit more to go, and then we're there, and then we're finished. Great, so this time we're going to extend that left leg long behind us. We're going to keep a nice straight body, nice soft upper body, soft through the elbows, and really nice and square through the hips towards the floor. I want you to extend that left leg long and up. So thinking really long, energy through the toes and squeezing up through the glutes, really controlling that lower body, controlling those abs as you squeeze up, thinking about length rather than height. It's really important. The more that you lengthen, the more that you're going to feel that squeeze through the glutes. Stay with your breath. I know you're probably feeling tired now and ready to be finished, but we're just going to get to the finish line. Good, let's work here for another 8, 7, 6, good. In 5, 4, final 3. We're going to work those rainbows in 2. Last one, all the way up. Now I want you to just drop that leg over to the right side and tap the toes down. And then as you sweep up over in a rainbow, all the way up to the left side, squeezing through the glutes, holding through the abs. Over in a rainbow. Good. Tapping down. Up and around. And tap. Good. Let's work here for another 8. Really hold that core. Hold the hips square. 7. Hitting every angle of the glutes here. 6. 5. Good. You can do it. Here we go. In 4. 3. Good. Up and over. 2. And 1. All the way up and over. And then coming back to find the middle. Now I want you to just tuck your elbows in and drop your chest into that press up, and then pushing all the way back up, and then dropping the toes, tapping the foot down, squeezing back up, dropping the chest, pushing up and tapping the toes. Good. Let's work here for another 6. Push, tap. 5, energy through the body. Use the breath. 4, good. Inhale on the way down and exhale as you push up. 3, 2, final 1. You can do it all the way up. Do that final push up, and then we're going to come halfway and pulse it out for 8, 7, 6. Squeeze the glutes. 5, squeeze the triceps. 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way up. Final pulses of the leg for 8. Last bit. 7, you can do it. 6, get to the finish line. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, well done, girls. All of the hard work is over. Just let your knees go wide. Stay with me here for a stretch. Let's find our child's pose. And just just take a few breaths here for a moment while we bring our heart rate back to resting. You have worked so hard, and that was a really burning class, but you made it all the way to the end, and you should be very proud of yourself. You should be feeling very strong and empowered. Your body. Just find our 4-point kneeling position again. I'm just going to work a few cat-cows. So dropping the belly. And then pushing away. Good, let's work here. Just take as much time as you need to move through the cat-cow. Move in any way that feels good. Any spots that feel a little extra tight, just move through them. Spend a little extra time on any part of your body that needs an extra bit of love. Good. Now what I want you to do is open up through your chest, open up to the right side, and open up all the way up towards the sky. And then you're going to thread your right hand through your left side and let your elbow, shoulder and cheek touch the floor, and just relax here and feel that nice shoulder stretch, because we worked hard through the shoulders today. If you want to take it a step extra, you could open up through the left side and then just breathe. Good. Okay, and then coming back to your 4-point kneeling position, we're going to go to the left side, open up through the chest for that nice spinal twist, and then threading underneath and letting your cheek, shoulder and elbow touch the floor. And then if you want to take it a step further, opening up through the right side and feeling that nice full twist of the spine and stretch of the shoulder. Good. Now coming back to 4-point kneeling, I want you to tuck your toes and push your hips all the way back into your downward dog. And just take a minute here to breathe. Really push your chest towards your thighs. And then when you're ready, let's just float your right leg up into a 3-legged position. Doesn't matter how high the leg goes, just do what you can, do what feels good. This mat is sliding away from me. Good. Now let your right ankle fall behind you into a 3-legged scorpion pose, opening up through the right side and opening up through that inner hip, and then coming back to that 3-legged dog. Final stretch here, and then I want you to sweep your leg through and find right knee to right wrist. And let's just let those hips sink down to the floor. Try and walk that right angle out into a perpendicular position to the body. And find your pigeon stretch. Good. And then just place your hands behind your side and open your chest up towards the sky. And sweep the body down into a folded position and let your forehead touch your hands if you can. That feels good. Let's just stay here and breathe. One more breath. When you're ready, tuck your back toes. Find that downward dog, pushing the hips back up. And just breathing here for a moment. Good, and then when you're ready, let's float that left leg up all the way up to the sky. Again, doesn't matter how high the leg goes, just do what feels good for your body. This is your class. Good, and then bend that leg and let that left ankle fall out to the side and let your left hips open up towards the sky into your scorpion pose. Good, and then coming back to find your 3-legged dog. And when you're ready, let's sweep that left leg in, left knee to left wrist, and And then let your right hip sink down towards the floor. And then just walk that foot out slowly and inch it forward into that perpendicular position. Hands by your side. Let's just open up the chest. And enjoy this pigeon pose. This is going to be our final bit. Good. Folding forward so that your head can come down onto your forearms if that feels good. If not, just stay where you were. And just enjoy the stretch through the glutes and the mindfulness of stretching after the Pilates class. Good, really try and relax the body. You might feel a bit tense still from all that movement that we just did. Good, let's just take one more breath. Really relax. Good, and when you're ready, just tuck the back toes. And let's just find one more downward dog. And let's just walk your hands slowly in towards your feet. And then bending into the knees, just rolling up each vertebrae at a time, stacking one vertebrae on top of each other until you come to stand. Head and shoulders being the last thing to come up. Taking a nice roll out through the shoulders. And then we're just going to take our 3 grounding breaths. So together with me, taking a nice deep breath in. So together with me, taking a nice deep breath in, bending through the knees, opening up through the chest, finding that same starting flow. Taking your breathe out. Good. Breathing in. And breathing out. Final breath, breathing in and breathing out. This time hands come to prayer. Feel free to close down the eyes and just bring your hands to your chest. Let's just take a moment here of stillness and to think about something that we're grateful for and to honor our bodies, whatever stage we're in the cycle. To recognize everything that she does and how we need to treat her with respect and kindness always. One last breath. And feel free to open up the eyes and roll out through the shoulders. And you are all done. Thank you guys for joining me. I really hope that you enjoyed that slow burn and sculpt class. It's definitely one of my favorite kinds of Pilates, and it's just perfect for when you're in the luteal phase. Of course, you can use it at any time of the month as well, but I absolutely love it towards the end of my cycle when I still want to really get my body moving and feel some kind of deep burn, but not feel overwhelmed with exercise and push my body more than it needs to. I'll see you in the next class, and thanks again for joining me. I love you all, and thank you for being here.